Alright, I found a new pinion. We're going to get that guy installed on there. Just our old one. Toss that aside. Oh yes, much tighter. That felt much better. Looks like we're still having that issue of the end of the pinion pushing on the white spot. I call it a spacer, the spacer of the axle. So I'm going to take and find some sandpaper. We're going to take and we're going to sandpaper that nipple down to get that tension out of there. Alright, sandpaper, pinion gear. Take and we'll just sand this down just a bit. Alright. That's sanded down.
More coffee?
Ooh, almost dropped it. That was bad. That would have been bad.
So, see how you've got one that's longer?
Install it.
No,
Put our axle back in.
So see how the spring is
Oh, yeah, yeah.
longer than the other?
One's shorter than
Okay.
one.
The longer end goes down.
Looks as if we might still be pushing just a little bit.
On here. Oh, okay. Here we go.
So take,
That goes down, and then that other little side down fits on the other side of this little box right here. Oh.
shave it down just a bit more.
I'm getting my other ditch. So that is this side. So what I do is take my fingers and my finger, like that, and then slide it on. Make sure that the longer.
Gosh dang it. It's being a pain in the butt. Alright. Alright, so we look and we can see there is significantly more movement than there was before with it in there, but that should be okay. It shouldn't affect it too much. I'm not super concerned with it,
Put it in your finger.
although oddly enough, so it looks as if we needed more rear shims than front shims. But we'll see what we can make work. We're going to cut out and I'm going to get this worked on and I'll let you know what I did when we come back. Okay, we're back. I fixed our tension issue here on the back with the crown gear. The assembly still feels rather tight compared to others, but it doesn't. The motor isn't moving a whole lot. But we'll see how that runs. Now, I bought tires as well as rear and front tires. I bought hubs, but unfortunately the tires are too wide for the hubs, unbeknownst to my knowledge. So, we're going to see here. I cannot use the tires that I had, although they are good height. They are too loose now. They fly off the car, which is not something we particularly want. It looks as if the new tires are a bit higher, which is unfortunate, but I will be getting tires to fit the 250 and 275 hubs that I did buy. Alright, we will run with these new tires that I bought from Viper though for right now.
Tires?
We are going to go ahead and use the ski shoes that I already had on it because they're still good. These are shoes that I threw on the car at Jim's race last time. we were there, which these are the same shoes that I purchased, that my dad purchased from Viper for his cars as well. I just borrowed a set at that time, and we will be using the set that I threw on because there's no grooves in it. They're still good. We can use these for testing. I will most likely throw a brand new set on come race day. So those are on. I need to get the springs underneath the shoes, which is done rather meticulously. It is a pain in the butt, but my father devised a flathead screwdriver with a divot in it. Helps install these things, make it go like a breeze. Alright. While I was over there, I got the oil for the armature holes and for the axles is what I use that stuff on. And here's the screwdriver. This is what my dad did to it. Devised a divot in it. So you take and you put your spring in the divot, and it makes it far easier to install. The outside one looks like it is going to be far more difficult than the inside one is. Uh-oh. That's unfortunate. I'm going to have to remove the bulkhead. It appears as if I got the springs in backwards. So, for those who buy these and install them, the square end of those springs goes underneath the shoe. I, unfortunately, had to learn that the hard way. Okay. So, while we have this out, we're going to fix the shimming on the motor as well. We have too many shims on the front and not enough on the back. So we are going to go ahead and fix that problem.
Hold on a second. Let me see.
Oh, you already got it out.
I already got it apart. Okay, the brush is
Yeah, because this is the downside of this.
Don't worry about it. Like I said, don't worry about the spring right now. The spring does not have to be on the shoe. Don't worry about the spring right now. Just put the shoe on.
And I'll show you what we'll do once we get your shoes on. Go put your shoes on.
okay.
All right.
A little bit of tension fixing. All right. Looks like we are back in business. Get our pinion reinstalled. I moved around the shims and added one shim, and it looks as if we have a bit less motor movement. Still moves nice and free.
Why are you so...
This was installed.
Damn
That's
it.
much better. So, after rearranging those shims and getting everything installed, our pinion pressure on the rear axle is no longer there, and it moves a lot better than it did before. It's still tight because of those 10 thousandths tensioned springs for the motor brushes, but we'll see how it performs. Like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of interchanging. There's going to be a lot of removing and reinstalling of that bulkhead to change out those brush springs. So with the way these double springs work, you have to run the spring or the shoe through the spring and install it that way to get it to work. So that is installed. Same thing with our other one. Alright, that is installed. We are rotating freely. The assembly looks good. We're ready for a dyno test. I'm going to start on low power as it is a brand new armature. I forgot one thing. Just a sec. She needs lubrication. Can't be forgetting the lubrication. So there is axle lubrication. Put that back on. Looks as if my armature lube was stolen, so I'm gonna have to go get that. Alright, now that we have lubrication, I'm gonna let her run. Sounds nice and stout. Give you guys a view of this. Looks like we're getting real hot potentially. Yep, we're real warm. Doesn't seem any tighter than it was before. Let's go ahead and go for a track test. Our track test. So before it was rather slow. It didn't exactly want to go around the track. That is pretty darn quick. She feels real nice and tacky. We seem to be getting a good amount of downforce. These tires seem really good. This is running at 16 volts. We'll be running these cars at 20 on Jim's race on the 20th of April in Beaverton, Oregon. 27. So it definitely seems like we're not going to run those 10,000ths brush springs. They definitely seem like it is too much brush tension for the motor. I don't want to burn it up. We're only going to do a few laps. We still smell alright. We're still rather, still tight, but it's not getting tighter than it was, which is good. Shoe wear looks good. Oh, and I put it on the floor. So that is quick. But it is not going to be quick enough for the race on the 20th. We'll take it up to 20 volts here and see how she runs on that. Oh man, that's real quick. Spun it out. If I can drive it right, we can get a good test out of it here. Now that was interesting. This track is tight on 20 volts. Sorry everybody, not getting a very smooth test out of it here. Very quick at 20 volts. a comparison test, we're going to run my dad's car here. This car runs at over 3 on his dyno, or on the dyno. So I hope y'all can see the car there. There's that. This one is mine. Oh man, tossing it off the track. It definitely stops harder. That's what I think the point of these higher tensioned motor brush springs are for, is to add some brake to the car, because it definitely stops a lot quicker, but it's definitely got a lot more go in it than that car. Although it doesn't test on the dyno as fast. Yes, so just about the same speed factor, but my father's car's got a lot more coast, which is all him. He likes to drive coasty. That is perfectly fine. Everybody has their own driving style. So we'll come back here in a second after I've got the timing system turned on, and we can get some lap times out of these cars. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have the timing system turned on. I'm going to do some laps with my car, and then with my dad's car, and then with Shaden and I are going to run together, and you can see these cars side by side on the track. So I'm going to be running in red lane. It is one of my favorites on the track. It's a slight bit more technical than green, and it's a little bit slower, but we'll see what we can do. Here we go. Well, that was a very bad first lap. Very bad second lap. Call out lap time. So 4:17. Louder for the camera. 4:11. Louder for the camera. 4:13. 4:25. 4:04. 3:77. Oh, and a spin out. Okay, so far, our fast time is 3:77. Pretty good lap. Pretty fast lap. I'm going to run about 10 more, see where we get. See what we can set here. All right, here we go. Too much coming out of that corner. 4:03. 4:06. 4. 393. 4:01. 399. 4:09. 399. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm definitely thinking these 10 thousandths tensioned brush springs are going to be far too much. Sorry, 8 thousandths. I've been saying that wrong. That is my bad. The car's getting hot really quick and it's really tight. So it seems like it's going to be just too much. So we're going to run a few laps with my father's car here, which is running over 3.0 on the dyno. I think that 322 is the highest we've seen it gone. It is a very nice car. Good handling, good downforce. So we're going to see what we can set with this car. Remember, our fastest lap with the current setup on my car is 377. Let's see if we can set faster. Not if I drive like that. $361. Right off the bat, I'm already setting a faster time. 378. 383. So it's clear that those 8 thousandths tension is just going to be too much. So we'll go down to the 7. We'll see what changes.